don't you tell them what your name is? My name is Eazy E, and this is true. Give me your attention is what I'm gonna do.
Basically, gangster rap, I guess it's like telling the real and not holding back, giving up, the reality from the street point of view. And like by us being from the streets, we know how to report it and tell,
Today's unfortunate story is about an Eric Lynn Wright, known professionally as Eazy E. He was an American rapper who propelled West Coast rap and gangster rap by leading the group NWA and its label Ruthless Records. He is often referred to as the godfather of gangster rap. Eric Wright was born to Richard and Kathy Wright on September 7th, 1964 in Compton, California, a Los Angeles suburb once noted for high crime rates and gang culture. Mr. Eazy E's father was a postal worker and his mother was a grade school administrator. Mr. Wright dropped out of high school in the 10th grade, but later in the years received a general equivalency diploma.
Somebody should write a song called After the Police. It's like when we wrote the song After the Police, it's stuff that we've been through before and everybody around us, people we've gone through for years, everybody else is scared to put it on record.
Mr. Wright supported himself mainly by selling drugs and introduced his own cousin to the illicit occupation. Mr. Wright was labeled as a thug. The hood where he grew up was a dangerous place. He was a small guy. Thug was a role that was widely understood on the streets. It gave you a certain level of protection in the sense that people hesitated to mess with you. Likewise, labeled dope dealer was a role that accorded you certain privileges and respect.
Dre. So right now we're getting everything back together and we finna come out, fully loaded.
In 1986, at the age of 22, Mr. Wright had allegedly earned as much as $250,000 from dealing drugs. However, after his cousin was shot and killed, he decided that he could make a better living in the Los Angeles hip-hop scene, which was growing rapidly in popularity. He started recording songs during the mid-1980s in his parents' garage, thus eventually ended up starting Ruthless Records.
Yo, they know the time. Quiet on the seconds, I'm about to begin. And if you didn't hear me before, I tell you again, my name is Eazy.
NWA, also known as the world's most dangerous group. Original lineup consisted of the Arabian Prince, Dr. Dre, Eazy E, and Ice Cube, DJ Yella, MC Rand joined later. The compilation album NWA and the Posse was released on November 5th, 1987, and will go on to be certified gold in the United States. Eazy E's debut album, Eazy Does It, was released in 1988 and featured 12 tracks. It was labeled as West Coast Hip Hop Gangster Rap and later as Golden Age Hip Hop. It sold over 2.5 million copies in the United States and reached number 41 on the Billboard's 200 charts.
They won't play it if I go get ill, but I'm like that, and that's an actual fact.
Soon in time, NWA began to split up after Jerry Heller became the band's manager. Dr. Dre recalls the split up came when Jerry Heller got involved. He played the divide and conquer game. Instead of taking care of everybody, he took care of only Eazy E and himself.
The street is where my heart is at. Yo, I don't do dope, but I'm dope. Not a dope, but I'm doper than anybody who tries to go.
The feud with Dr. Dre continued on after a track on Dr. Dre's debut album, The Chronic, called F with Dre Day, and everybody's celebrating.
So I know you got your gap to stay on hard. From gagging your road dogs, the hood you grew up with, homies you grew up with. Only from respect your ass. So now it's time for the doctor to check your ass, fool. Used to be my homie, used to be my ace. Now I wanna slap the taste, stop your mouth.
Then Mr. Eazy E responded with the EP It's On Dr. Dre 187 Killer, featuring the tracks Real Motherfucking G's and It's On.
And let that real shit provoke. See, you don't wanna be low, then you'll get smoked. And I hope that your fans understand when you're talking about spraying me. The same records that you're making is playing me. Motherfucker Dre, motherfucker Snoop, motherfucker Duck Roll. Joe, and here comes my left flow. Cause I'm the Eazy and this is the season to let the real motherfucking G's in.
In his personal life, Mr. Eazy E, he had a son, Eric Darnell Wright, known as Little Eazy E, in 1984. He also had a daughter named Erin, who changed her name to Evie in October 2016. Evie launched a crowded funding campaign to produce a film called Ruthless Scandal, No More Lies, to investigate her dad's death. It ended unsuccessfully in December 2016. Eazy E, Mr. Wright, met Tamika Woods at a Los Angeles nightclub in 1991, and they married in 1995, exactly 12 days before his death. They had a son named Dominique and a daughter named Deja, born 6 months after Wright's death. After Wright's death, Ruthless was taken over by his wife. According to Jerry Heller, Wright had 11 children with 8 women.
I'll tell you what to do, I'll tell you what not to do. You got your own freedom of choice.
On February 24th, 1995, Mr. Wright was admitted to the Cedars Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles with a violent cough. He was diagnosed with HIV and AIDS. He announced his illness in a public statement on March 16, 1995. It is believed Mr. Wright contracted the infection from a sexual partner. During the week of March 20th, having already made amends with Ice Cube, he drafted a final message to his fans. On March 26, 1995, Eazy E died from AIDS-induced pneumonia 1 month after his diagnosis. He was 30 years old. Most reports at the time said that he was 31 due to his falsification of his date of birth by 1 year. He was buried on April 7, 1995 at Rose Hills Memorial Park in Whittier, California. Over 3,000 people attended his funeral, including Ice Cube and DJ Yella. He was buried in a gold casket and was dressed in a flannel shirt, jeans, and his Compton hat. His final album, Straight Off the Streets of Motherfucking Compton, was released 10 months after his death on January 30th, 1996.
possible for so many people to break out of the economic chains of the inner cities.
I hope you guys enjoyed this unfortunate story of Mr. Eric Eazy E Wright. More to come from Tombstone Whispers. I'm Mr. Wade and Mrs. Crime. Remember, we bring it to you. Till then.